KP classes dedicated to excellence.
Hello everyone, this is an introductory session for the crash course of CPWD Deputy Architect Requirement Examination, which is scheduled to be conducted on 11th of August 2024. In this session, we will be discussing all the important points regarding the course structure, what are the subjects we are going to cover here at KP classes, what will be our approach in the preparation for the remaining 1.5 months, and how should you focus on individual topics to cover the entire syllabus. We will discuss all these details, and most importantly, we'll also discuss about the resources which we at KP Gate classes are offering as a part of this crash course for Deputy Architect Requirement Examination. And also we will have a discussion on the topics which are, so many students have a doubt regarding are there any new topics in the syllabus, what about, so we'll have a discussion regarding that. And many students also have a doubt, there are some points which are not mentioned, some topics which are not mentioned in the syllabus. Should we study anything extra? Can you expect anything additional other than what is mentioned in the official syllabus? We'll have a complete discussion on all these points, including the course structure of our crash course. So let me first begin by starting with a small discussion on the timeline which we have over here, or what are we looking into. So the crash course, as you are aware, the KP Gate classes, the crash course is going to start from the crash course start date is 26th of June 2024. So, and the exam date, as you already know, exam is scheduled to be on 11th of August. So we are looking for a timeline which is approximately 1.5, less than that. Let me say, generally we are looking on approximately, we are looking for a timeline of 1.5 months. Now, in this 1.5 months, how to cover the entire syllabus? In the crash course, even if you have been preparing in the past with our lecture series, or even if you are starting a revision right now, this crash course is going to be of utmost importance for you. So in this 1.5 months, the resources which you should be using, which will be a part of this crash course, include: number one, you will be having the classes, online live classes, where the faculty will be discussing all the important concepts. I will talk about the lecture plan also. The link for the crash course is available in the description. You can check out the details over there as well. You have the complete schedule because it is just a short, it is a course of 1.5 months and you have a lot of topics to cover. We have covered the comprehensive study plan with the complete timetable for the classes as well. The details of which will be available in the course link which is available in the description of the video. But let me talk about I'll also have a discussion on the class plan and the subject wise study which you're going to have as a part of your study for this crash course. Classes, live online classes, that's number one. Number two, you also have access for the study material. Now, there are some topics, for example, if you look into the official syllabus, there's a topic, if you can check over here, this is the official, this is the addendum which has been released by UPSC, and they also have published the scheme of the examination and also syllabus for the test as a part of it. If you look into the syllabus for the examination, there are 20 points mentioned. Of these, you can also see there's a point computer applications in architecture, which mainly has to do with the software related to architecture, be it AutoCAD or say Revit, 3D Max, 3ds Max, all these computer software related to architecture. You can expect some questions related to that also. Now that probably, it is not practically possible for us to cover in 1 or 2 classes all the important software. So that can be probably a part of your self-study from the study material for that. So you also have access to the study material for all the subjects. There are some subjects which you should have a special emphasis in your self-study. So what are those topics? You'll have a clarity on it once we are done with this complete detailed analysis of the lecture plan of a crash course. So study material is the second resource you will be having. Number three, you will be having access to the past papers. We have access to past UPSC papers of the year 2015, 2016, 2018 and 2023, including assistant and deputy architect question papers. You will be having access to these past papers in form of test. So you can practice these questions. Other than these past papers, you also have additional test series based questions. And the test series which has been prepared by KP Gate classes, you will be having access to sectional subject wise question papers and also full length mocks for your self practice of the examination. So these are the resources. So you need not look for different sources and collect information. Your focus in this 1.5 month should be solely on utilizing the information or utilizing the content we are offering over here. That should be your sole focus with concentration, because it's going to be a very competitive examination. So a comprehensive content which you are having access to, make full utilization of it over this 1.5 month of duration. That's point number one. An overview with respect to the timeline and the resources. Now let us now delve into the details of the course plan, the subject-wise understanding of how are the classes going to be conducted across these 1.5 months of time which you have. What are the lectures you're going to get and how should you prepare using these lectures. And also, as I told you, we'll have a discussion on the addition of new topics and also on the study of additional topics which is not mentioned probably in the syllabus. We'll have a discussion on all those. Is it even important at this point of time? Should you even put in efforts to study study additional things other than what is mentioned in the syllabus? We'll have an understanding of all that which has been backed by information from past papers as well. So with respect to the class plan now, there are two main inputs for the class plan. The subjects we are going to study as a part of this crash course. In this class plan, you have a total of 16 subjects, 16 to 17 subjects. The reason why I am telling 16 or 17 subjects is we might include an additional lecture on some new topics also. So we'll have I'll let you know those details. So approximately you can say 16 or 17 subjects as a part of your class plan, and all these subjects will have 1 or 2 classes each. There is no subject which is more than 2 classes. So we'll be covering the topic in a manner which is important from the examination, which will revise you, give you a confidence on the overall subject. So any subject of all those 16 to 17 subjects, you will be having 1 or 2 classes for every subject as a part of this crash course live online classes. That's with respect to the number of subjects. Now let us look into what are these subjects, or where do we get this list from? What are these 17 list of subjects which we are going to study in this crash course? So there are two main inputs. Number one, obviously the official syllabus. But you cannot just go through official syllabus. Is very important. It is an important input to prepare the class plan, but that's not the sole input. Reason being, you have the exact same 20 points with small modifications like data communications and computer networks, Internet of Things. These points have been added this year. Other than that, I would say more than 95%, or not 98% of the overall syllabus, it is exactly same to what it has been in the past. And in the past, there have been questions. For example, you don't find history of architecture listed over here, but you do have history of architecture based questions. At least 5 to 10 questions in every past paper, including last year's question paper of assistant architect, even though it is not mentioned. Now you may say, why are they giving questions out of the points listed in the syllabus? See, history of architecture is an integral part of probably say theory of architecture. So it's not like you cannot say it is not mentioned in the syllabus. There are broad terms mentioned in the syllabus which might include areas which probably are known to you by other names. So history of architecture is just one example. There can be multiple other examples, including say water supply, sewage treatment, solid waste management. You don't find these, but all those are a part of physical planning. Physical planning includes the topics of urban planning and physical infrastructure as well. So we accordingly, by considering the official syllabus and also inputs from the past paper analysis, with these two main inputs, we have this list of 17 subjects which we are going to study as a part of this crash course, which can be expected to be important for people who are just solely going by terms individually. You might miss up topics if you don't understand the second part. You are not putting in, if you are not aware of the past paper analysis. Because I told you, history of architecture, it's not mentioned, but there are 5 to 10 questions every year of all the past 4 papers available from UPSC Assistant and Deputy Architect. So both are equally important inputs. You need not waste your time analyzing the official syllabus past paper. That work you can leave on to us. Our team of experienced faculty here at KP Classes have developed a class plan, comprehensive class plan covering entirety of the topics important for your CPWD Assistant and Deputy Architect examination this year. So let us talk about the subjects now. As I told you, 16 odd subjects is what we are going to target, with 1 or 2 classes for every subject. So if I talk about the topics, as I told you, the detailed syllabus, the detailed schedule, the date and time included for every class is included in the timetable, which is available already in the course link which is provided in the description of the video. You can check out the course link on our mobile app, KP Classes mobile application. You You can check out the details of the complete class plan over there. So if I talk about the subject now quickly, number one, as I told you, combining both the official syllabus and also past paper analysis. Let us say the first subject is architectural design, theory of architecture and building automation systems. That is considered as one subject in our crash course. Architectural design and theory of architecture and including building automation. We are going to have a class on that. Building automation systems. That's one topic. Number two, we have basic design and visual arts, which can broadly be termed as architectural graphics. So the architectural design and building automation, you have the working principles of building automation, the terms related to building automation. We'll have a discussion on that, and also architectural design and theory of architecture. The second subject I was telling you is basic design and visual principles, which, so let me just write it as basic design and visual arts or visual principles, which can be termed as architectural graphics broadly, which includes a study on the principles of design and also the color theory and terms related to architectural design and graphics. So that's number two, the second subject. Then you have so computer applications, like I told you, that is something which you can be, it's not within the scope of the crash course to learn new software and their applications as such. That's something which you can cover from the study material. The relevant content of it is included in the study material already. So that is something which you can do for yourself. I'm talking about the class plan for the lectures, the live online classes. We have the lectures, we have 2 lectures in climatology, 1 or 2 lectures. Every subject I'm listing, we have 1 or 2 classes. Climatology is the next subject, number 3. Then we have number 4 over here, acoustics. Then you have point number 5, contemporary architecture. Now along with that, we'll also have a study on history of architecture and contemporary styles. Because there are 5 to 10 questions on an average, I told you, on history of architecture. Okay, we're not going to do it in a very lengthy manner. We'll have in this crash course, our focus would be on revising and recalling the important topics, important concepts under every topic, every subject. So even history of architecture and contemporary architecture, will be doing it in approximately 2 classes, keeping in mind the overall time available with us and the relative importance of the subject. So history of architecture and contemporary architecture, that's point number 5. Then you have a lecture on estimating and costing, very important topic for your examination, estimating and costing, under which you will be learning various types of estimation and also various types of valuation and concepts related to costing, like depreciation and accounting depreciation. There have been theoretical questions from all these, even in the last year's question paper of 2023. Estimation and costing is what we are looking for, number 6. Moving on to number 7, we have physical planning, under which I told you we have lectures for both urban planning. There will be 2 lectures for this subject of urban planning, planning principle, where you will study various planning theories, important books or important planners and their concepts, terms related to urban planning. So that's number 7. Then you also have a topic of physical infrastructure, which can be included as a part of physical planning itself from the official syllabus, under which we will study about topics like, again very briefly, only what is relevant from the examination point of view, 1 or 2 classes on it, which includes the topics of water supply, sewage treatment, solid waste management. These are the broad areas which are included under physical infrastructure subject, that is point number 8. Moving on to point number 9, professional practice. Professional practice has been an important part of the UPSC examination, which includes questions of contracts, Indian the Architects Act, the professional practice and the guiding principles with respect to Council of Architecture guidelines. All those will be a part of your professional practice lecture. That's point number 9. Then you have 10th subject, which is landscape architecture. Then you have point number 11. You have earthquake resistant structure. You'll be having approximately 2 lectures on earthquake resistant structure, the guiding principles for earthquake resistant architecture. That is also a part of your syllabus. Number 12. So you don't have in-depth study of structural analysis, including bending stresses, shear stresses and so on. But you do have the topic of earthquake resistant structure in the official syllabus and also in the past papers. That has been the area of focus from structure. So we'll be covering that in this crash course as well. Then you have the topic of urban design and conservation. That's number 12, urban design and conservation. Number 13, which is a part of your crash course, is construction management, where we will learn about the networks, the types of floats, the network analysis which can be done in construction management, including critical path method, but the important core theoretical areas from where questions can be expected. We'll have a complete study of all those topics. Then we have ecology and environment. Ecology and environment, where we'll study the topics of environmental pollution and also various treaties and also international conventions related to environment, which are generally asked in the competitive examinations. And then you have the topic of housing, where you also will study the relevant standards of housing with respect to the National Building Code included in it. Then you have building automation systems. I already have listed in the previous list of topics over here. Along with architectural design, we'll have a study of building automation systems as well. Building automation systems has been a topic from where you generally get 4 to 5 questions. At least in the last year's paper, 2023 assistant architect paper, there are around 5 questions on that topic. We'll also study the relevant basics of building automation systems and also practice those past questions. All the subjects will try to include practice questions from the past UPSC paper, so that you understand what type of questions have been asked in the past and what can you expect from that particular subject. That will give you a better understanding of the overall topic. 15 is housing, and then finally we have a special lecture on the National Building Code and other important guidelines and standards. Let me just write it as NBC standards. Under this, we'll mainly study about the fire safety standards of NBC or any other relevant building guidelines with respect to the turning radius, slope of the ramp, or vehicular access in buildings. All these standards which are relevant from NBC, we'll have a special discussion, a dedicated session for that, so that you can recall all the ways. This class we are trying to schedule it towards the end of the course, so that the basic standards, at least those which you have to remember, that will be easy for you to recall during the examination. So that's the class plan. We have prepared 16, and like I told you, so if I tell you about those 2 points, there are 2 main concerns for students. Number 1, should we study anything additional than what is listed in the official syllabus? Number 1, history of architecture. I told you it's not mentioned, but it has been a repetitive area from which questions have been asked in the past. We have included that in the crash course, we have included that in the study material, we have included that in the test series. All the subjects I have listed are included in all the 3, in the live lectures of the crash course and also the study material and also the test series. Now you will need to make a 100% utilization of these resources for effective understanding of the subject and scoring well in the examination. Ultimately what matters is how well are you going to score, what is the maximum number of questions of those 120 you will be able to answer on 11th of August. That should be your focus. For that, whatever amount of time you can invest to make use of these resources for the next 1.5 months, that you have to do. Quality, content, coverage of the syllabus, that you can leave on to us. So that is the second main concern with respect to new addition. Like I told you, if you analyze the past 4 papers and the past 4 available official syllabus of CPWD or UPSC Assistant and Deputy Architect Requirement Test, 2 major changes which you can find in the syllabus list is introduction of computer science subjects, mainly data communication, computer networks, and also the topic of Internet of Things. Now, Internet of Things is basically a system of software and also hardware which is involved in buildings also, which communicate through internet particularly to execute some type of work. So it actually is something which is an offshoot of building automation systems itself. It is overlapping with building automation systems. Data communication and computer networks involves, and it is again subject of computer science, where we are trying to include at least a basic lecture of these topics, even though these computer science subjects, core topics of computer science are not directly linked or do not have a major link with architecture directly. So you probably would not expect a huge number of questions. If you look into the CPWD pattern, every subject you can expect around 4 to 5 questions. Even building automation systems, you can expect 2 or 3 questions at least, minimum. So, on an average, if you look into the past 4 papers, that has been the average, 3 questions per paper. 2023, the last year's paper, the number of questions was slightly higher for building automation systems. So, even for these new topics, that is what we can expect, including all the topics of computer science, you probably can expect 5 to 6 questions. Now, just to score well in those 5 to 6 questions, investing a lot of time into it to understanding the nitty-gritties of computer science and leaving out your division of other topics is not at all a wise thing you do at this point of time. So your focus should be on covering the entire syllabus accordingly. So these are the 16 topics, but a 17th optional topic, if possible, we'll try to include someone from the computer science background to explain the basics of data communication, computer networks and Internet of Things. If this class is not conducted, if the explaining the basics of these topics, if it is not within the scope of 2-hour lecture which we are planning, in such cases we will at least provide you, along with the introductory class, we'll also try to provide you study sources where you can learn the basics of these topics in it, because it is mentioned in the official syllabus. But you need not spend a lot of time into learning those computer science topics as such, because you probably would not expect, even if you get questions, you will get 5 or 6 questions at max out of 120. The focus should be on maximizing the score, not doing well on one particular subject. So with that, I hope this idea on the overall course as to how are we going to study the topics for your crash course for the next 1.5 months, I hope that is clear. For details of the course, you can check out the link which is provided in the description of this video, where the complete timetable is also included. And for any further doubts and queries, you can reach out to us on the contact number which is provided in the description of the video.
KP classes dedicated to excellence.